Okay, so I'm pulling up the chart. I'll give a screenshot here a little bit, but let me summarize. This full moon is going to happen on May 31st around 4:45 a.m. Eastern Time. It's actually going to be a blue moon because it's a second full moon in May, and astrologically it's going to land in Sagittarius. I believe it's about 9 degrees opposite the sun in Gemini. So if I were reading this for you, for the collective, I would say the vibes are going to be feeling like a truth teller vibe. You know, that the moon is going to be that truth teller, exposing things in your life that need to kind of have a flashlight on them. It's the kind of full moon that really shines on things that it needs to highlight. And if you've been overthinking the details or quietly craving something bigger, freer, more honest, those things are going to kind of be at the forefront. So this one has a very I can't fake this anymore type feel. Gemini wants facts. That's what it's all about. Conversations, options, mental motion, happenings. Sagittarius wants meaning, perspective, emotional truth. It's all Sagittarius. It's fire. So it's like you're combining those two things, and really you might notice a buildup around, I would say, questions like, why do I actually believe what I believe now? You know, what story am I outgrowing? Where do I need to stop playing small? Or do I need to stop being polite to people who don't deserve it? So I would say it can bring some emotional clarity in a lot of different things in your life, but not always in a quiet way. But more sudden inner click where you realize what has been missing in its light bulb moments. The moon is going to be less about being neat and more about being real. You may feel restless, blunt, inspired, weirdly brave. You might want space, a bigger plan, a spontaneous conversation might occur, plan a ticket somewhere. You could journal a lot. You'll probably be wanting to journal a lot. It'll just be a complete honest reset in your life in so many different ways. It could just, as a collective, if I knew your chart, I would know exactly where in your life it would be doing this and impacting you the most. But this is just a broad collective energy read that I can't really get down to the nitty-gritty for you unless I actually knew your chart. But I will briefly hit on the major signs. So if you're an Aries, Gemini, whatever, I'm going to briefly kind of tap on what the majority of your sign would probably be impacted with. So Aries, this is going to feel like one of those moments where you suddenly remember who you are outside of stress, anxiety, and you might get fed up with playing small, overthinking, or staying stuck in the same loop. I'd expect a strong urge to just grow and be bigger and say yes to things, say yes to that trip, the idea, the risk, the version of you that actually feels alive. Best of luck. Taurus, this moon kind of feels deeper for you than it looks from the outside looking in. You may realize something about trust, attachment, money, intimacy, or emotional labor, especially where you've been giving more than you really want to admit that you've been giving. It's a be honest about what this is costing you kind of moon. Gemini, this one's relationship heavy for you. Somebody could kind of show you exactly where you stand, or you could finally admit what you need from a certain connection with somebody. If things have been blurry or cute but confusing or hard to define, this moon is probably going to make it a lot harder for you to avoid that truth. Cancer, you're going to be likely to feel this in your routine, your body, your emotional bandwidth. So basically, what's draining you will become very obvious. This is the moon that says, okay, babe, this pace is not sustainable. And honestly, it may be right. So Leo, this one could actually feel kind of gorgeous for you, I would say. It brings attention back to joy, romance, creativity, flirting, fun. My husband's a Leo, so I hope to expect this. Just the parts of the life that make you feel kind of lit up from the inside. So if you've been stuck at work mode for so long, this moon will probably remind you that your soul is not here to live alone in that kind of mode. Virgo, you may get emotional about some home stuff, family stuff, or just your inner world in general. I would say this feels like what actually makes me feel safe kind of moon. It makes you reflect on that. You could be craving rest, privacy, softness, or just like a general reset in your personal life. But honestly, it's going to make sense to you. Libra, this is a talking moon for you. You may feel like you have something on your chest that really you need to get off, whatever. Or you may get a message or a conversation or a realization that changes your perspective really fast. It feels mentally busy. I'm guessing those energies, it's like a mental busyness, but in a way that kind of finally gets things moving for you. Scorpio, money, value, self-worth. That's the zone lighting up for you. You may have a moment where you realize you've been underestimating yourself, undercharging, overgiving, or tying your security to the wrong thing or person. And this moon wants you to really get real about what actually supports you. Sagittarius, my daughter. Oh, this one is going to be personal. It's a full moon, which usually means feelings are going to be louder, clarity sharper, and you're going to be less willing to betray yourself for comfort or appearances. You might change something about your identity or your direction you're headed, your look, or just the way you're carrying yourself. It's a very, I need my life to feel like mine again mode feeling. Capricorns, this feels a bit quieter, I would say, not weaker, but quiet. Sometimes people can confuse the two. You may be more tired, more reflective, more emotional than usual. Not because anything is wrong, but because something inside you is asking for space. And I treat this like a spiritual exhale. Less pushing, more listening, be more in tune with your gifts, with just listening for signs around you. Pisces, this one can bring a big career or purpose feeling to it, not necessarily dramatic, but will be noticeable. You may realize you want more, want different, or want to be seen for something truer than the role you've been performing. It looks like you might be feeling like being called forward for something that you otherwise would be surprised at. That might happen. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. So honestly, if I had to sum up this moon and close out this video, I would simply say to people, you're going to feel what's true, even if you can't package it perfectly yet. It's going to be feeling true. Sagittarius full moons in general don't know how to fake anything. It's really not a fake it feeling. So they do honesty, perspective, release, and then a sudden, oh, now I get it, kind of feel. So really tap into these energies and apply it as close as you can to your life to really get the most out of it. So hopefully this little short, quick guidance will help you. I am, of course, available for a deep dive if you need personal guidance.